welcome to Workshop Wednesday. Today we're going to be making this kind of, I don't know, country looking, I guess, card with the Sending Smiles stamps. And be sure to check out my website, www.carolbcrafts.com, to see what current customer reward I'm offering. So I'm going to need to put some stuff on my fingers here. Some Sort Quick. This stuff right here, Sort Quick, because my fingers get dry and I can't do anything with them. All right. So we have a piece of thick basic white, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I'm going to fold that in and take my bone folder and crease it like this. All right, I will give my dimensions as we go along. Then we have a piece of crumb cake cardstock, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. That's probably a very familiar, oops. Well, before we put this on, I'm getting ahead of myself. This does have, let's not put that on quite yet, because this has, we should probably do that last. All right, so we're going to set this aside where it doesn't get sticky on anything. I'm going to stick it to this so I can pull it off when I'm ready. Just lay it on there. I'm not going to stick it firm. But we do have a piece of 4 by 5 1/4, and this is a landscape card, so we need to do it landscape too. Crumb cake, 4 1/4 by 4 by 5 1/4 going on in the inside here. We'll set that aside for now. For stamping, basic white, 3 3/4 by 5. It's going on in the inside, and we're going to be stamping. I'm going to stamp a note of thanks. Where's the one that's done? Right here. I'm going to stamp a note of thanks, but you can put anything there that you want. And let's see, I'm not gonna, don't need that yet, need that, don't need that, that's die cutting. And this is stamping. So stamping, die cutting. This goes on the front. Now the stamping we're going to do, I guess we could get by without our Stamparatus, but I really want to make sure I get a note of thanks straight. So on my 3 3/4 by 5 piece of basic white, I am going to get my Stamparatus out. And I'm going to be stamping that in Sweet Sorbet, one of the new in colors this year for 2022-2024. I get my 4 by 6 plastic sheet, and there goes my magnets. They're always acting out. So this is how I'm going to stamp it. And I thought I had my note of thanks stamp out, but I guess not. I guess I didn't get it out. It's right here. So a note of thanks. I'm just going to put it on the plastic, pick it up, and of course the plastic comes up too. So I'm going to put that back in the corner. Ink that up with my Sweet Sorbet. So what that's going to do for me now is I can slide this under, line it up nice and straight. I hope that's straight, probably a little bit. There we go. And take the plastic off. Now, when I ink that up, it's going to stamp exactly where I want it. I don't have to worry about lining that up in any particular way. That's how I can make sure I get everything where I want it and not have do-overs. Less stress for me. Okay, that's all we need our Stampin' at Stamparatus for. So put that. I got all my stamps on this big block here. Makes it easy for me. All right, so done with this. Bye, Stamparatus. Now I have a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 basic white. Guess I better wipe off my plastic too. Get ink on anything. And what do I say? I need 5 crushed curry, 5 sweet sorbet, 5 crumb cake. I'm going to use my D block. I'm putting it in the corner, so I put my finger there. That makes it easier to stamp. And I will just use the one from here, the foam from here. I'm going to use it. All right, so I need 5, 5, and 5. So 5 crumb cake, 5 crushed curry, and 5 sweet sorbet. And I'm using this flour right here. That one right there. So let's do our sweet sorbet first. It's my favorite. My favorite of the new. Well, I can't really say that because I love them all. Okay, so I'm going to, I only get one chance to do this right, so there we go. 1. So I have 5 sweet sorbet. Now I'm going to do 5 crushed curry. And then lastly, we have some crumb cake. That has a little dot there. Let's see, do I use all 5 of them? 1, 2, 3, 4. I only use 4 of the crushed curry, so if one of them is messed up, that's okay. Okay, dry that off. And you know what? I put away my, oh, no, I didn't. I was going to say I put away my Stamparatus, but too early, but I didn't. I don't know what I'm thinking. So inside these little flowers is gray granite, or you can use any gray. And there's this tiny little dot, the size of a pimple. That's for the inside of our flowers. So we're just going to do that for all of our flowers. Now I think that I am going to cut some of these so that I can use my little mini. That's the one that's messed up. There. So we also have a piece of Poppy Parade. Now you could use this paper, which by the way is the Tea Boutique paper. It's in the new annual catalog, I believe. Yeah, the new annual catalog. Tea Boutique paper. And you could use, I think you could probably use the Sweet Sorbet for the sending, but I'm using Poppy Parade. I just thought Poppy Parade matched the background in this paper better. So I have a piece of 2 by 4 Poppy Parade, or is that 2 1/8? 2 1/8 by 4 1/8, because this is 2 by 4 adhesive sheet. And I'm going to see if I can get that peeled back a little bit. It's great when you're doing letters like that because you put the adhesive sheet on the cardstock and then you die cut the cardstock, and then it's so easy. Well, I shouldn't say easy because I'm setting myself up for failure when I do that. It's not that difficult to put on the paper, but it is a little tricky still. And this does not want to cooperate. Let me see if I can get this involved and see if that helps. Well, you didn't want to spend your afternoon watching me do this, I'm sure. All right. Find out which side is the sticky side. That's the sticky side. So what I like to do is only peel it back about that far, and then kind of hold it like this. I always cut my cardstock 1/8 inch bigger than the piece of adhesive sheet that I'm using. That gives me wiggle room. And now I have adhesive on the back of my, so when I die cut that sending, it'll be sticky on the back. All right. And then I'm also going to need a piece of white cardstock that is 2 by 5 1/4 that I'll be die cutting the background with. Okay, so now where's my mini? This is going to be fun. We can chat while we do this because this is going to be time consuming. I honestly meant to do this before, but let's go ahead and do sending first. So here's my sending die. I'm going to put it on the Poppy Parade that has the adhesive sheet on the back. I'm going to see if I can do this without having to tape it down. I'm going to gently feed that in so it doesn't wiggle. And I'm going to go forward And then I'm going to go backwards just because that's really thin lettering. And I want to make sure it cuts all the way through. And it did. All right, so now I'm going to do the basic white. And I'm going to take the background die, this die right here, and I'm going to place it in the mini. Okay, there's my background. Put those aside. And then I have the die that goes with all these flowers. So we will just have to chat. Oh, you can chat amongst yourselves. I'm not sure who's here. Okay, so we have 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then the DSP is 2.5 by 5 1/8. So just again, 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 for the crumb cake, and then 2.5 by 5 1/8 for the DSP. Okay, and then our flowers, we're going to kind of do I'm going to follow the pattern here. So crumb cake, sweet sorbet, crumb cake, crushed curry, crushed curry on top of here, sweet sorbet on top of here, then crumb cake, and crushed curry, sweet sorbet, and crumb cake here. So that you basically you're covering up the edge of the paper. And how are we going to put those on? Well, we'll just get some glue dots. Glue dots are always the best, easiest way to adhere something. All right, I'm gonna see the best way to do this is first to get some more sort quick on my fingers so I can actually pick these up. I think I'll take the top ones off and put the bottom ones in place. And this one kind of goes right here. And this one goes on top of that. And then this one goes here. There, and then the others go on the inside. So let's get our note of thanks. Put that on the inside. And looks like we have a red, a yellow, crushed curry, red crushed curry, and crumb cake. So we had an extra red one. So looks like red goes on first, or sweet sorbet, then crushed curry, and then crumb cake. And then we have our little flowers in the corner. Okay, this is, now we're going to do the twine. I have a 20-inch piece of the, is it Natural Baker's twine? It's the one that's in the annual catalog, and we've had it for the longest time. I think it goes around twice, so let's put some stuff in the, let's put some, come on. I'm going to start here in the corner. I want it to be just below these flowers, and maybe even underneath some of them. So I'll put that around and stick it in that in the adhesive. Okay, get underneath there. All right, so that's one time around and 2 times around, and then we're gonna stick it in the, and it's a little long, so I'm gonna, now we can put that on the front. I'll put some adhesive on the twine itself. I want to make sure that stays down, so I got plenty of adhesive on it. Okay, we're getting close to being done, guys. So we have our background for sending, and now we have this part. Now this is the part that can be a little tricky. Okay, you want to take this easy and slow, kind of work it out. You don't want to pull on it, because pulling on it is going to stretch it, and then it's going to look wonky. And I'm taking my take your pick tool, and I'm pushing that out. I'm going to push all of these little extra things out that we don't need. Now there's actually an eye too that I'm not sure, is that the eye? Maybe it could be my eye. Now that's the E. I'm not sure what happened to the eye, but I will find something I can use in spite of the eye. Okay, here's our extras. It's a wonder what happened to that eye. All right, here we go. And I'm going to start it, and then it might be better to hold it down as you are, and I'll tell you, this is probably better to use because my fingers, it likes to stick to my fingers. All right, now then, let's see. Let's see if this will work. If I stick it to that, there's just really not enough to stick to it. Start with my S and work my way over. Oops. And if you have to, you can reposition it and then push it down. All right, so we have our sending. Now I lost my circle, so I have to make up a circle. There's this little thing here. It could be the I. It actually came from the E, I believe, but I think I can make it work. Maybe. Oh boy, I feel like a surgeon. Like I'm a surgeon. There. So if you lose your your dot to your I, you can always use your E. All right, let's go. Let's do this. And I put this on with mini dimensionals. Okay. And I will get my mini dimensionals out. Maybe, if I can find them. All right, they must be at the other desk. Hold on. All right, I got them. So I'll put one there. You'll know where you can put them. There's plenty of room on the back where you can find places that you can hide them. And you don't need that many. You just need to be sure that you support all of the pieces. So this is kind of how I did mine, if you want to see. Another tedious part is to take these off. Come on. All right. This is just going to go here across the that is about 1/4 of an inch from the edge of the crumb cake. And you don't want to push it down too hard because you want it to be level. All right, now we're going to we have 2 pieces of that twine, and the reason I did 2 is because it's going to be a double bow. Okay, so basically it looks like what I did, I didn't use the usual method of putting it on with a glue dot because that just wouldn't work with this twine. So I'm going to go underneath with both pieces like so. Go on, go on, go on, go on. And bring it up and then take both pieces. I am acting as though I'm working with one piece. Okay, so I've got a nice little knot there. So I'm going to take this. I made a loop just like that. And normally I do 2 loops and then I cross one over and push it through. So hopefully this works for you. If you've done it before, it'll probably be easy. If you haven't done it before, it might be kind of crazy. Just trying to make it smaller. Needs to be smaller on that side. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut the ends even with the little ends of the bow part, like that, and then try to just make them look nice. Get them to go where you want them to, the ends. Okay. This bow did not do as well as that bow, but I think it will look better once it's like flattened out a little bit. But right now it's kind of sticking up there. But that's okay. It still looks pretty. Let me separate those loops a little bit. I don't know. I'm not really happy with that bow. Wonder why it looks that way. Oh well, it's just gonna have to work. I guess it doesn't look that bad. This bow's been flattened out a little bit, so maybe when this one gets flattened out a little, there it goes. All right, well, there we are. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed making this. Whoops, we're almost done. We have some rustic metallic adhesive back dots. It's also in the annual catalog. We need 3 of the small ones. Yes or no? 3 of the larger ones. And they're going to go up here. This just is for a little bit of interest, because it needed something else. I remember now when I did it. I thought this needs something else. So 3 of the rustic metallic adhesive back dots. That's a mouthful. In the new catalog, the new annual catalog. All right, now we're done. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a great evening.